Welcome to the Cohn phone, where I will take your calls for the next hour. The Dallas Cowboys just beat the New England Patriots. I think we were all watching that game. It was interesting for a few reasons. One, Dallas won, and Dak Prescott's got to be as good as any quarterback in the league right now. The Cowboys look to me like a legit contender in the NFC, along with Arizona, Tampa Bay, and the Rams. Not the Niners. Maybe the Niners could get there, but not at this point. Those are the contenders. Dallas looks good. What's the other takeaway? Oh, Mac Jones looks good. Mac Jones looks good. So I think what Kyle Shanahan was doing today was probably texting lots of people in the Niners organization, saying, "See, I was right. I was right." And it brings me back to that press conference he had before the draft when he was asked two questions about Mac Jones. First, why do you like Mac Jones? He said, because he's a starting quarterback, which is interesting in contrast to how he's used Trey Lance, who he clearly sees as a backup. The other question was, Niner fans seem extremely upset and apprehensive about what you're going to do with this pick. Why should they not be? And Shanahan said, well, if you like the guy at pick number 12, you should like him at 3, which tells you what he thinks about Mac Jones. And the thing is, he's probably right. I'm not saying he's a better pick than Trey Lance, but he looks good. And he looks like he probably could merit a top 5 pick. I don't know. So this is a big weekend for Kyle to be able to win some private arguments with people in the organization, I think, unless I'm reading things incorrectly. All right, that's enough of that. Let's take some calls. The Cohn phone is going to be different from now on. Because of what happened on Jesse Naylor's channel, someone went on and trolled him with some picture. I realized that, I really do trust you guys coming on my channel, and you guys have all been phenomenal. You guys have never, ever, ever broken my trust once, and you wouldn't. But as this gets bigger and bigger, more people that I don't know come on, and it just takes one to get the whole channel destroyed and deleted. And I don't think we want that. I can't have that. I'm trying to start a family over here. So I'm going to have an overlay, and you won't be able to see your face, but you'll be able to talk. You won't be able to get the FaceTime on my channel. I apologize. But you can still come on and say what you got to say, like the radio. So it's a shame that we got to do this, but we got to do it. All right, let's go. It's in the discussion. It's in the chat. Rams McVay 5-1, Shanahan's Niners 2-3. What else is new? What else is new? Good to see you, Ramillia Sports Report. Always a pleasure. All right, so here's what it looks like. This is courtesy of Jesse Naylor. A little overlay. What's up, Jose?
What's going on, Grant?
How you doing, man?
Feeling good about yourself?
Pretty good, man. Sorry everyone can't see your gorgeous face.
No, it's all right, man. I don't know what went on that you mentioned, but I respect it either way. It's your channel at the end of the day.
It never occurred to me that something could happen, but I got to be careful. Anyway.
Yeah. One quick thing before I ask, or before we talk about what I want to talk about. So I'm going to be going to the Cardinal game on November 7th. Nice. And I just wanted to know, do you know of, like, since you've been to the stadium, do you know of, like, what the protocol is and whatnot when it comes to, like, do you need to have, like, a negative test to show up? Or
I don't know. That's the funniest thing. I don't know. I'm in my own little media world. I'll get back to you. DM me.
Okay.
Or just email me. I'll let you know.
Okay, for sure. And two, I mean, if I don't know what your schedule is the day of the games, but if you want to meet up and say what's up,
dude, I'll try. But I'm always super busy day of games, man.
No, I know.
We would do better like beforehand. But where do you live?
I live in Sacramento.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yeah, I'll be at the game like as soon as they open up the tailgate parking lot, just so I can get there early and enjoy the tailgate and whatnot.
Cool.
But anyway, so I think the worst part of our team right now, besides injuries, is Kyle. That's just honestly how I feel personally, straight up.
Okay.
Because I feel like this has been his worst year as a head coach, not even just as a head coach, but as a play caller, as well too. I think this is like just a bad year for Kyle, and if not for that extension, I honestly would put Kyle in the hot seat. But there's not going to be no reason for him to be in the hot seat because he's got 5 years left on that contract. So there's kind of no point. But
my question is he acting like a guy who's desperate and thinks he's on the hot seat and that's why he's not playing any of his young guys, or is he acting like a guy who's arrogant and knows he has a long time and that's why he's not playing his young guys?
I think it's the second one.
Okay,
To be
that makes
honest,
sense to me.
That makes sense. That's how I feel though, because
at first I was like, man, he's not playing Lance and Sermon and Banks and all these guys because he's like, man, I can't afford to. I got to squeak out every win I can. But now it's like maybe he's just like, man, I'm going to be here for the long haul. I can do whatever the hell I want.
That's basically what it's come down to with how much leeway he has at the organization.
Yeah.
But to be honest though, too, my bigger issue is Trey Lance, I think, looked okay for the most part. There were some good things he did and some things he didn't do that weren't so great, like missing wide open receivers or just not seeing them.
Yeah.
But my biggest issue is he wouldn't even be on the injury report if Kyle didn't treat him like a running back. Like
that's true.
Why was there so many designed up the gut runs? Like why?
Well, I mean, Kyle was making a statement. That's what he thinks of Trey Lance at this point. That's what he thinks he can do.
Which is ridiculous. If you want to do read options off the edge and off the corner and stuff, and read the defensive end, that's cool. Everyone gets excited for that. But to just do straight up the gut QB draws or QB power like that, I mean he's a big I guess he's a big guy, but he's not elusive like a Lamar or overpowered like a Cam Newton. He's kind of like a in between of those guys, where he's not super big, but he's not super athletic either. Like he's kind of in the middle.
The way I look at it is like I felt at some point we were going to see Kyle Shanahan's enthusiasm about Trey Lance's skill set, but it actually seems like Kyle's kind of like, this is okay. This is what I can do with it, as opposed to watch all these different things. Like, no, we're going to do variations of running between the tackles.
And I agree with that too, because all that cute stuff you do when Jimmy's in the game, you could very well do it with Trey Lance. Trey Lance is able to go under center and do all the motions, and that's another thing that bothers me too. Like Trey Lance didn't do any of the stuff that he's doing now in college or in high school for that matter. Like he literally was never in shotgun so much as he is now, and he's kind of like treating him like he did with RG3. Which he's not the quarterback that RG3 was, or Kaepernick for that matter.
Right, they're different.
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird, and I kind of hate it because I'm scared that he's kind of do what him and his dad did to RG3. I really hope it won't happen, but I don't know. It's just watching
They've
that
done it before.
Yeah, watching that game, it just gave me like those kind of vibes, and I'm just like I'm kind of worried for the guy.
Yeah. Jose, I got to take some more calls, but I get the same vibes too, and I think a lot of Niner fans do. Appreciate you calling in, man.
Of course. Have a good day.
All right, take care. Rye Yearwood says everyone is talking about Mostert. No disrespect to him and love him, but the run game ain't been the same since Breida left. True. The two of them were a nice little combo. Trey says we have to be fair about Mac Jones' situation first. He's been playing the entire time. Secondly, he has a competent coach. That was funny. All right. It's good to see you, man. People have been telling me crazy stuff about you, and it's not true. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Doing real good. I just, there's some nutcases out there in this world, and I'm not one.
No, but I see you had Jesse's back. That was really nice.
Oh yeah, I do.
That was really nice of you. Yeah.
I'm actually going to do some giveaways on his show to try to help rebuild it.
That was really cool of you. Thank you.
And everything. So
yeah.
I also posted in the Facebook group a link.
I saw that
to your channel and to Jesse's and Jack's channel.
It's crazy what people can do, but now that it's out there, I mean, we gotta be careful.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse seen the guy's face; he knows it wasn't me.
I know, I know. It's just crazy that people would come on here and be like, "Why would they do that? Why do they want to smear your?" That's so weird, very weird. Yeah. Anyway, what's on your mind today, man?
I think Kyle and John both need to go. But I also think Mommy's boy needs to go too. We need to have a real team president that can hold people accountable.
Thank you. That's the point. I mean, I agree that you need a new start here. But the problem is that you can't trust Jed York to get the news.
You can't.
You can't.
No.
You can't. Because honestly, getting Kyle Shanahan when they did was a nice little coup, considering where they were. But they messed it up right off the bat by giving him too much power.
Yeah.
They should have had a real general manager.
Who do you know that's a GM that can mess up so many first-round picks as John Lynch has and Cal has and still have a job?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of general managers around the league would look at the Niners and be like, see, this is why experience matters. This is why you can't just take a player, a former player or a coach. Not anyone can do my job. I guess there is an expertise there. It's yeah.
I mean, I would love to see us get the Buffalo not GM but offensive coordinator, because their quarterback that he has groomed was not the most accurate quarterback in the league,
right?
And everything, and he made him into what he is now. I consider him probably the best quarterback in the league, even over KC's.
Agree, but I think, Michael, the most important thing here is if we look, was what you said originally. If they do start over, Denise has to step in and hire someone else to do the search, and that person should hire the general manager first, and that person should hire the coach,
the new head coach. Yes, he should have all the decision making. GM does the GM job, the head coach does the on-field job, and that's it.
Yep, that's right.
He gives him the players to work with, and that's it. You work with them, you do the job, or you're out of here very quickly. So
I'm with you, man.
I'm tired of George Kittle being Jimmy's boy and stuff like that. If he's that injury prone and he can't stay on the field, let's use that money elsewhere. Same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. Right now, we're not winning no Super Bowl. We're probably not even going to the playoffs. Let's take Trey Lance. Let's work with him while he's young. Let's build him up, and let's make him a second-year player coming into his second year, so that he'd be a lot better than he will be as
opposed to a redshirt rookie, right?
Yes, exactly. I don't want a redshirt rookie.
Exactly.
So,
I'm with you.
But that's all I really wanted to say. We need to start. Jed York needs to stay out of it and let somebody that actually knows how.
Denise, take over. Come on. You've given your son 15 years of chances. He's not young anymore. People think of him as being like 27 or 32. No.
No, he's probably in his 40s now.
Yeah, come on, man. He can't do it. He can't do it.
No, he can't. His track record shows he can't do that. Yeah. Call in Uncle. Let Uncle pick out somebody.
How about me? We could do it, me and you.
Oh, I'd fire all of them. It would be a fresh start.
I got to take some more calls, man. It's good to talk to you, though.
All right. Nice talking to you.
I'll see you soon. All right, bye. Real quick, Jonathan says, thank you, Jonathan. Would you be open to helping build a parallel Niners subreddit where we won't be banned or harassed for criticizing the Yorks, the front office, or bringing up Colin Kaepernick? Free and open discussion from the faithful. Well, since you're bribing me with $50, I'd like to say yes, but I would never spend a minute on Reddit. So no. But look, if you do it and you want me to help or something, as long as I don't have to do too much, yes. Otherwise, no. But thank you. That was super nice. Hey, man, Korean 49er, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Grant?
I'm all right, man. Okay.
As I promised, I will get you a great sandwich once you're in Chicago.
Maybe
something.
It's coming. It's coming up.
Coming sooner than we expect. So, a couple points to talk to you about. First, concern about Kyle is if they decide to let him go, who's the main problem here in this equation? Jed.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we were just saying. Yes, it's Jed. And that's why I think why Niner fans are so apprehensive about hey, you can't just throw Kyle out. You've seen what Jed can do here. Then Kyle is at the high end. That's Jed at his best. Don't discount Jed coming out here and hiring the freaking special teams coach to be the head coach. He could do that.
Yeah, this is true. But John Harbaugh is a special teams coach too. And look what he's done with Baltimore.
That's true. I didn't mean to take a shot at special teams coaches.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I'm with you.
Couple points. First point is I think the best coach on our staff is D'Amico Ryans. Outside of that hiccup in the Green Bay game, he's done real well, and the only problem he's had is the offense can't get him any points to give him a little bit of margin to do some of the things he wants. I've seen him just getting better and better.
Here's a prediction: in 3 years, he'll be a head coach, and Kyle won't. How about that?
This is also true. So, also back to Kyle real quick, and I'll let you go to the next set of callers.
Sure.
To me, Kyle has no excuses in his 5th year. I don't think any NFL coach can say that I have injuries on my team and I can't win because of them. Bill Belichick, I think in one of the past games this season, did not have 4 starting offensive linemen play and had Mac Jones, a rookie, in the game and found a way to win it.
Yep.
To me, you can't use that as an excuse. You brought these players in for whatever reason, thinking that they're going to get us over some mythical mountain that I'm not aware of is there. But, you know, and one other thing about...
real quick, hold on. Before you move on to this topic, I like this topic. It's a game of attrition. You can't use attrition as an excuse. Right?
Yeah.
If it's a game of attrition, then you got to take that in stride. Next man up. No one cares. Sorry. 5 years in a row?
Yeah.
Game of attrition.
And also with Bill Belichick, he does one thing that I'm also very impressed with. He asks about the bench players on the opposing team.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say it again.
Bill Belichick always asks about bench players on the opposing team because you'll never know if one of his opposing starting players may get injured and can't go on in the game and wants to know their strengths so he could strategize a way to go at their weakness.
You know, I heard something else too before we move on.
Yeah.
I heard something that it was in the Seth Wickersham book. That one thing Belichick likes to do, and maybe I don't know, this is a legend or whatever, but he stares down the coach opposite him on the sideline and tries to get like a scouting report on his emotional, you know, I don't know, like how he reacts in pressure situations and what he's going to do. And he's looking at him. That's what he wrote in the book, Seth Wickersham. As opposed to, and he said, he's not looking at his play sheet. He's looking at the coach. And I was thinking, as opposed to someone I know. Anyway, it was very interesting. I like that little bit of gamesmanship right there. I don't know what he's gleaning from that, but looking at the coach.
You got to remember, his father did coach at the Naval Academy, and I believe they probably read The Art of War numerous times, and it's all a mental game. So,
yeah.
And one last point about Bill Belichick. I believe that at the end of the first half of the Cowboys-Patriots game, did you see when they punched the ball out when Dak was trying to go into the end zone on that sneak? To me, it's like, I'm hoping that, I believe D'Amico's probably teaching those guys that, but are they actually going to ever use that in that kind of a situation? Because, you know, that's an easy way to get a takeaway. Just punch that ball out. So
good call. Good call, man. Hey, good to talk to you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, sir.
All right, later. What is your honest prediction versus the Colts? The Niners are going to win. They're going to they should win that game. They better win. How about that? That's my prediction is they better freaking win. That's a prediction. Hey, Karan, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. How do I look?
Yeah, exactly.
So good, man. I'm fantastic.
Yeah. I'll check up on you sometime.
I spent the night at the Ritz last night. That was so nice. I feel better. The Ritz, yes, in San Francisco. So nice. Really had a great time. So I feel better. Yeah.
All right.
I'm in the midst of the most stressful 2 weeks of my life, but that you know, Ritz therapy made me feel good.
It shall pass.
The Carlton therapy, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So listen, I'm gonna come on and just basically say, listen, at the end of the day, we're 2-3, and we've played like crap for a majority of like one, maybe 2 quarters, right? The rest have been pretty much garbage. We're still only a game out of a playoff spot, 7th place.
And, I mean, and like while they played garbage, they outgained the Cardinals. They outgained the Seahawks by 200 yards, and they were beating the Seahawks, the Packers until they weren't. But
I mean,
really,
to me, the game that hurts the most is probably the Packers game because he had that game statistically in the bag. It was like 98%, right? You look at next gen charting or whatever it is. It was in the bag,
the
right?
Seahawks too, though, outgaining him by 220 yards at home like that.
I get that, but it was the first quarter and they were only up by whatever there was. And it is what it is, right?
They would have won that game if they had Robbie Gould, but they didn't.
Right?
Yeah.
So in my mind, what I see the other teams doing in the Rams and the Cardinals are they're beating the teams they should beat.
Yeah.
Right? They're beating the Giants.
Yeah.
They're beating, they're beating the Browns. The Niners need to now, after, this little 3-game stretch, they have a lot of winnable games.
Yeah,
the
they
majority
do.
of them are winnable, and they may not even have to face Russell Wilson.
But they got to prove they
Wilson.
can beat a playoff team at some point. Yeah.
No, well, you know what?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't care if they win a 1 or 2 games against supposed playoff teams. Guess what? If they're in the playoffs, they're playing a playoff team, right? They are a playoff team.
Good point. Good point.
And to me, I think everyone's like caught up in like, listen, right now, there are 4 really good teams in the NFC, right? It's the Buccaneers, the Cowboys, the Rams, and Arizona. We are unfortunately have 2 of them, right? But here's the thing. It's the quarter of the season, and I would say that Arizona and the Rams are peaking, but so I think the season's very long. One or two of those teams should bottom out a little bit. Like you said, injuries catch up, the schedule get harder.
Happened to Arizona last year.
Happened to Arizona. Arizona has a track record, and their coach is a little bit even more suspect than I thought he was.
They should fire Cliff Kingsbury today. They don't need him. Goodbye. Thanks.
No,
don't need you.
They really don't need him. But
don't need him.
They don't. No.
Kyle
will be fine if he can just beat, the Jaguars, the Texans, a few of those cupcake schedules, the Falcons. But the real issue, Grant, is what I saw. Yes,
and I expect he will.
But he'll win it with Jimmy. He ain't winning it with Trey this year. That was very obvious. He cannot win a game with Trey Lance.
You really feel that way? I mean,
no, I don't think he can, because I think he went all in with the Jimmy system, and I think again, there's a reason why Aaron Banks isn't starting. He doesn't fit that mold. There's a reason why Trey Sermon isn't.
Hold on. They outgained the Cardinals with Trey. That could have been worse with Jimmy, man. That could have been worse with Jimmy.
Listen. So I love to talk sports talk radio, but I've got a nasally voice and high pitch, so it's never going to work out for me. Trey Lance can't throw a spiral. That's like 101. I mean, if anyone wants to go against Jimmy, which is fine.
He's the best quarterback I've ever seen who can't throw a spiral, though. I'm going to say that. He's the best quarterback I've ever seen who can't throw a spiral. And look, he puts the ball generally where he wants to put it without throwing a spiral, which is commendable, but you're right.
If you're an NFL wide receiver who's played
professional
D1
quarterback,
and you've played D1 and all you've ever known are spirals, I'm sorry.
He's gonna have to work on that in the offseason. Spirals.
Correct. But that's something you can't work on right now. That's an issue. That's a really big issue.
It is. It kind of is, yeah.
Right? That's like a singer who can't sing, or it's like 101. It's like a writer who can't type.
Hey, wait a second. There's lots of ways to skin the cat. He just happens to do it without throwing a spiral. Look, don't open your mind, Karan. Okay, there's lots of ways to do this. He's 21. No, he's been Alex Smith at the beginning. Just let's relax.
And it took Alex Smith 7 years.
It took him a long time. Trey Lance has a very bright future. He's gonna be a successful pro. I think he's gonna have a long career. He seems like he has the mental makeup for it. But it's what he is now compared to what he's gonna be at 25 is a big difference.
I agree, and I hope that here's my concern is that I have a head coach, general manager that I like. Right now they're going through a rough patch, but I've seen dumpster fires. Some of these young 49er fans didn't live through the 5-6 years, the Dennis Ericksons, the Mike Nolans, and that whole cluster is the fact that no matter what, here's the truth. Kyle Shanahan has more street cred and more credibility than Jed York does as an owner of a football team. That's mind-boggling. That's mind-boggling if you think about it. And so does his general manager as a Hall of Famer. More connected.
Yeah, it's true.
Right? So if they get rid of him, who are they going to bring in? Honestly, who are they going to bring in that's going to have that? And it's not just the head coach, guys.
But we were talking about this with another. Jed can't lead that search.
No. But even if
that one out,
even if Jed finds somebody, that person, you're going to tell me is going to be more connected than Kyle Shanahan when it comes to offensive coordinators, when it comes to defensive coordinators?
There are a lot of good coaches out there, man. I mean, I wouldn't discount the fact that you could find a better coach than Kyle, because I don't think Kyle's really a head coach. But you would need to hire the right general manager first. Jed can't do that. So you would need to like have someone, to hire someone. It was what you need.
I would completely agree with you that they could definitely find someone better. But my argument is that would they find the assistant coaches that Kyle can find?
I don't know. But you can't operate that way. I mean, if the right move is these guys, you got to move on from these guys, and you got to do it.
I completely agree, but I feel like, okay, they clearly wanted Mac Jones, I feel like, and they probably were like scared to do it because 49er Nation would have revolted. But you're telling me that Mac Jones couldn't have been 2-3 right now? He's 2-4 right now with the Patriots. And guess what? Come November, come December, Mac Jones isn't going to make the same mistakes that he's making now. He's not. And you know what? He may have a dad bod at the age of 20, but guess what? He throws a pretty ball. He just made Kendrick Bourne look like Odell Beckham Jr. a couple hours ago. So again, I go back to the point is that Kyle likes a certain type of quarterback. Go back to his track record. He had 1 year where he was force-fed one quarterback that he did not like. And what did he do? He had a backup plan. He had Kirk Cousins in the wing. And guess what? At the end of the day, that quarterback got injured and was never the same again. So to me, this is like a giant mirage of what's going to happen between Trey Lance. And I don't expect him to be successful since Kyle has never really done this before. So I'm going to be very interested to see what happens. And he's got to throw spirals. I will be on the trade. I will be on the bandwagon. I will be all there. Just throw a spiral. 101. Just get to a spiral. I will be there. Because that is something that is mind-boggling that they would draft someone that high knowing they had to have seen him throw. How do you hide something like that for that long? And how do you not address it during the offseason? This is
I didn't see it on
the
college tape. This is new, so the Niners are gonna have to figure this out. Cohn, I gotta take some more calls.
No, go ahead. Yeah. See you later.
All right. Spirals. Yeah, that's the word of the day. Like Sesame Street. We need an elite scout GM like Scott McLuhan who can build a roster. Who cares if he drinks? Let the man work. No, no. I like Scott, but no. Someone else. No. Aldara, it's been a while. How are you?
It's been a while. I have been on vacations. Now I'm back.
Where'd you go?
To my home place. To the place where I was born. So it was good to be back.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. What's
on your mind? I want to vent about something that relies mostly on us, the fan base.
Okay.
When was the last Super Bowl victory?
When I was 6.
I wasn't even born.
Yeah. 1990. I was 7, 1995.
I'm born in July 95, so I didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
But after that, we have been sucking like bad. But the fan base, like to act like we have been this great franchise the last 20 years. When we haven't. No. We haven't earned that feeling of greatness. And that leads to us being accepting of our team trying to be in the Super Bowl, but don't winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, the Niners have become this team that's always trying, right? They got a plan, and they mean well, and then it doesn't work, and you're like, why are we applauding this effort when this used to be the standard for professional sports? This organization, back before I was born, and then throughout the 90s, and now it's like they're trying to figure it out. They're trying. That's the best they can do.
Yes, I mean, when you don't win a Super Bowl in 20, 25, 26 years, you're on the level of teams that we, the faithfuls, used to mock, like Cowboys, Jaguars, Bengals, and all these teams. And it's like, we really aren't in that position to joke about them, to laugh at they're expensive, but we have been the same. But the only difference is that in the past we won a Super Bowl, but we haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's exhausting because. I mean, I think we can win a Super Bowl. Yes, we have a lot of talented players, but we haven't. So we should hold our coaches and the organization
The
to
whole
the
organization.
standard that
Yeah.
we want a Super Bowl now. No, not enough of this project would take us and to the Super Bowl. It would get us a Vince Lombardi in 5-6 years.
Part of the reason I'm so pessimistic in my coverage, why I always kind of assume that the thing that the Niners are trying to do aren't going to work out, is because they're a bad organization. They find ways to mess things up. As I've said, getting Kyle Shanahan was good for them, but they messed it up. They gave him too much power. Instead of hiring a real general manager, they're like, well, let's just hire John Lynch, who's a former player and an announcer, and basically, Kyle, you pick the players. Like, he's not good at that. You gave him too much power. He was about 7 when you hired him, and he'd never been a head coach at any level. And you were like, here, just run the whole organization. We're desperate. That's what the Niners are like.
Yes.
So,
I mean, and a lot of the previous colors and you have been saying is that you don't trust the jerk, and I agree because sadly for him, he has to live to this standard of what his uncle and her mom did, and his mom did.
mm-hmm.
But if he's not capable, he should resign.
Yeah,
because he's holding this team down. And when they try to sell you the powerful and historic 49ers, they have to have something more meaningful than 6 playoffs appearance.
well, I mean, he's not going to step down. I mean, no one would. But I think what we have to realize is, like, it's not his team. It's his parents' team. And they delegated the whole job of running the organization to their son when he was 27. Why? Did they do it because he was special and he had an aptitude for this job? Well, the last 15 years have indicated no. So if he fires Kyle and John and they let him do it and they let him hire the next group of people, then it would seem that they've delegated to him because they're lazy and they don't want to do anything. They just want to own the team but not actually work at all. In which case, that's the whole problem right there.
Yes. So
if they care, then just say, Jed, we love you. It's not the job for you. You had 15 years to try. We're going to hire someone else because we care about the organization more, and you should care about the organization as well. It's not for you.
yes, that's how it should be. Plus, we should humble ourselves a little bit and see what we have accomplished in the last.
But real quick,
years.
though, the reason I think that Jed is so buddy with Kyle, you know what I mean? I have these dinner parties, and Jed's like, it almost seems like he's drunk tweeting. Is I feel like I want to give Denise credit. I think it's been communicated or it's understood that Jed, this is it, man. This is the last people you hire. You've hired like 7 people, man. This is it. And if this doesn't work out, then someone else is going to have to come in and do this. So that's another reason I think Kyle feels so secure.
Yes, like, because his job depends on the other job.
Yeah, because if Jed fires me, then Jed's basically firing himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So it's all very bleak in Ninerville, but hey, maybe Kyle Shanahan will figure it out and turn it around right now.
Hopefully. I mean, I don't want them to fail.
No, none of us do, and that's why we do quality control and try to help them. But
I mean, I'm longing for a Super Bowl victory in my 26 years.
I know, right? Well, we're going to be longing for a while. I don't know if you follow the Golden State Warriors, the basketball team here in the Bay Area, but basically, for a long time they had terrible ownership. And they missed the playoffs like 20 years in a row or something, 15 years in a row. They sold the team. They got owners that were really invested in winning, and they've been really good ever since. It really does show you that ownership matters. And people like make excuses for the Yorks and want them to improve, but it's pretty clear that they're bottom tier owners, and it's too bad. It's really too bad.
Yeah, that's sad.
I'm sorry. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, same. See you. Bye. Have a nice day.
Seeing without seeing you. All right. Well, I'll talk to you next time. See you.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Pino says Kyle wants out and may have for a while. The trade up was a chess move. He's setting himself up to go to Miami with plenty of cap, ton of picks, and no state tax. Come on. Lancer Mack at 3, not generational talent. Oh, that is wild. That is wild. Oh my God, it just hit me like the end of The Usual Suspects where I'm looking at the wall and I drop my coffee. Kyle wants out and Maya for a while. The trade up was a chess move. He's setting himself up to go to Miami with plenty of cap, ton of picks, no state tax. Come on, man. Lance or Mack at 3, not generational talent. So you're saying that Kyle Shanahan sees himself on the Dolphins and has since February and made that move knowing he was going to Miami and essentially was setting himself up. Man, that would be some serious chess. That's creative, man. I like that. That's amazing. Waruna.
Hey, Grant.
Think that he traded up to 3 thinking he's going to Miami?
I don't think so.
Crazy, dude. I don't know about that.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Okay, good.
Hanging in there. How are you?
Okay. I'm doing fine. Doing okay.
Okay.
So first thing, Karen, Peyton Manning said itself, the spiral is overrated.
Interesting.
Right. So Peyton Manning basically said, nobody thrown more wobbly touchdowns than me. Okay.
Than me.
The spiral is overrated. So I believe we have bigger problems than spiral.
Yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's, to me, honestly, it's kind of a nitpicky point. It's a little bit.
Yes.
A spiral is nice. It would be better.
Yeah, it would be better. It would be nice to have.
Yeah.
Nice to have in your job resume, not mandatory.
Yeah.
So coming back to the
real quick. I remember when I was 7, I met Steve Young. That was the privilege in my life. My dad was covering the team. I got to meet Steve Young. And my question was, because I was 7 and I was trying to throw, I wanted to be Steve Young when I grew up, but I couldn't quite throw spirals yet because I was so small. And so I asked Steve, is it hard to throw a spiral? And he said, it kind of is because I don't have super big hands. Like Joe Montana has enormous freaking hands and it's effortless for him to throw a spiral. Me, it's not. So sometimes I'll throw a pick, but I'll watch it travel in the air and it'll be a spiral and I'll admire the pass and it'll get intercepted and I'll go to the sideline being like, well, at least it was a spiral. So I think it's just because Trey doesn't have the biggest hands.
Yeah, maybe. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
So other thing that I saw about is basically noticed is that at least 49ers learning from some mistakes, as I said today, not going for these injury prone players anymore. I mean, we could have easily gone to Richard Sherman, but it proved that the front office was right. So, I mean, every time there was a player out there in the market, Julio Jones, Stephen Gilmore, whatever his people wanted to 49ers to go after it. People were mad, like, okay, why don't you do that? We can improve the team and whatnot. But I think they are making the correct move. The only question is, again, coming back to the quarterback situation, Kyle really did want Trey Lance. So I really suspect that by now, because when I think about it, I mean, just after 5 games, you jump into Jimmy Garoppolo train without thinking twice, making him the highest paid quarterback at the time. But you are not doing anything similar with Trey Lance. I mean, not giving him the money, of course, but at least showing some intent. I think that's the word we are looking here. There is no intent when it comes to Trey Lance with Kyle. So that's a big worry.
Right.
So that's why.
Because the way John Lynch made it seem was like, man, Trey Lance is going to be Kyle Shanahan's muse. Like, you don't understand the level of creativity that Lance is bringing out of our head coach. Like, he just can't stop drawing up plays. And then he gets in the game and it's just draws and power plays. Like, John, we don't believe you. We don't believe you at all.
Yeah, basically, I don't believe
either
John or Kyle, because they have been all over the place throughout the season.
That's a sell job, straight up.
Yes, so that's why I ask people to re-evaluate Kyle Shanahan's performance. Don't give him a free pass,
Yeah.
please,
Right.
because
Don't
he
give him a
doesn't
free
deserve
pass
to.
just because his name is Shanahan. Think, what if his name were
Yes.
Banana Hand? You know what I mean? You wouldn't see him in the same light. You wouldn't give him the same benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying. That's the
Yes.
point of the name Banana Hand. You got to take that away.
Yes.
Anyway.
And the thing is, I believe there must be some coach out there, as you say, that willing to coach Trey Lance and can take the best out of him. So that's what all I'm going to say. Don't give a free pass to Kyle Shanahan, because end of the day, 49ers are going to suffer. Shanahan will move out somewhere. Maybe he might be successful. We don't know. But we have to we have to take care of our assets. At the moment, Trey Lance is 100 times more worth to the team than Kyle Shanahan or John Lynch together.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Runa. Good to talk to you.
Okay. It
All
was
right.
nice talking to you,
All right,
Grant.
good. Hey, good article today. Everyone, if you haven't read all 49ers today, Runa has the latest article. It was terrific. 5 takeaways from the Niners through week 5. It was really smart. Good stuff, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grant. Hope to talk to you soon. Okay,
all
bye.
right. See you around. Tobin says watching NFL during the bye weeks makes me realize even more how off the Niners offense is. Kyle hasn't developed a passing game in 5 years. You know what's interesting? He lost his passing game coordinator this year. That guy's the new offensive coordinator with the Jets. Makes you wonder, what does Kyle do? Kyle, what do you do here? If Mike LaFleur was that important, what do you do? What's good, Grant? What's good, the Jedi? Can John Lynch make it through another season, Reggie McKenzie? I mean, he can. I don't know if he will. He might be the one who gets held responsible. El Jefe, what's up? El Jefe. Going once? Going twice. Peace. Papa Dragon. Papa Dragon. Papa Dragon? Hold on. Papa Dragon. Papa Dragon. He's coming. I have a feeling. I'll come back to him. I don't think he's ready. Chris, what's up?
What's going on, man?
What's up? What's up? How you doing?
All right, man. First off, man, hope everything is going well with you and your family, man. You know, I hope everything is pushing in the right direction. I know you work hard, but I just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you, man, and hope everything, you know, turns out the best for you, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So I've been sitting up here listening, and man, I know when we talked earlier, man, we were really hard on D'Amico, man. And how is it that your rookie defensive coordinator is out coaching you?
It's a bad look. It's a bad look.
I mean, Grant, you got Mosley was out for a little while. You were picking guys up off the street in a passing league.
Yeah.
And you're this offensive guru, and you only score 7 points. I knew we were going to lose to Seattle, but I thought we could beat Arizona. Don't ask me why, but I thought we could. But I mean, how are you running quarterback power into the teeth of the defense? Now, I want to know if he's going to do it.
Again, though, the fact that you've lost back-to-back games where you've outgained the opponent, that means that's on the head coach. That's because you couldn't figure out what to do when Robbie Gould got injured in warm-ups, and then the next week you went for it on 4th down 5 times. 5 times. Not twice. Freaking 5 times when your defense was playing well. Dude, that's just mismanagement. You mismanaged the last 2 games, and then you mismanaged the last 37 seconds. Frankly, it went back longer than that. All the Niners had to do to beat the Packers was not snap the ball with 12 seconds left on that freaking clock. Had they taken it down to 3, they win the game. That's mismanagement. 3 games in a row.
Yeah. Or either the defensive players lay on the receiver and get up slow. I mean, all we had to do was just waste 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 extra seconds. And then my man.
Mismanagement.
And he's running it. I mean, now this is what I don't understand. This is what makes me think that this man does not want to coach this team. Why would you run quarterback power when your backup quarterback is Nate Sudfeld?
Thank you.
Like, just explain that one to me.
Yeah.
That makes,
you know, the entire game plan was built around it. Like, we're not going to use our running backs too much this week. We're going to do empty backfield, quarterback power, quarterback counter, quarterback draw, excuse me. That's the basis of our freaking offense. How do you let that get through? How did that happen?
And then on top of that, Elijah Mitchell got hurt because you ran him to death against the Eagles. He finally gets healthy, and then you run him to death, and Trey Sermon only gets 1 carry. Like,
why is Trey Sermon? Trey Sermon is literally averaging more yards per carry than Elijah Mitchell and can't get the ball. Explain that. What did Trey Sermon do? And the fact that Trey Sermon's been buried, even though he looks good to me, makes me wonder about Aaron Banks. How do we know Aaron Banks isn't better than Daniel Brunskill? He didn't play in the preseason. How do we really know? Because all I know is that Daniel Brunskill is not a starting caliber player in the NFL. Not starting caliber. So why don't we take a freaking look at Aaron Banks? How about we just get a look? But no, we can't see him. We can't see Sermon. All right. Okay. All right.
It's like I told you before, man. He is Goodwill Hunting. He can't get out of his own way. You know,
Goodwill Hunting grew by the end, though. That guy was 22 or something. He worked it out. Kyle's like 40. I don't know, man. I don't know if he's gonna have that growth in the.
He needs a sports psychologist to go in and talk about some certain things because, I mean, the fact of the matter is, I kind of agree with you. Unless he can get this turned around, I mean, my thing is trade him away to Jacksonville. You know, I mean, instead of the Raiders, because the Raiders aren't going to have any high draft picks, but Jacksonville will. Jacksonville, they're going to win maybe 3-4 games. So give them to Jacksonville.
Miami, get those picks back.
Yeah. I mean,
into Miami. Miami looks terrible.
I mean, I cannot understand not playing IU. I mean, you want your playmakers on the field so they can grow, and you don't. I mean, but I will say this: it seems as though the locker room is split. You got George Kittle wearing, you know, Jimmy G's face on his T-shirt. You know what I mean? Yeah. You got management, you know, coming down. He seems like he's, you know, having a little beef with John Lynch. I mean, things are before nothing used to come out. You know, when the Niners did something, nothing came out. And now all of these things are starting to come out, all these little leaks. And it's like it seems like we're on a ship that is slowly starting to sink. And it's in all aspects of the organization.
Good times. Hey, Chris, it's really good to see you, man. No, look, the Niners will probably win this week, and then they should win next week. I mean, come on, Kyle, make it interesting. Come on, can you keep it interesting, please? Please.
Who would have ever thought that the offense would be the problem as to why
it's been that way 4 years in a row? Like, the offense wasn't a problem 2 years ago, but it's been outperformed by the Niners defense 4 years in a row. Kyle, he might be good, but he's certainly overrated. Certainly.
Chris, he could be just an offensive coordinator, not a head coach.
Hey, man, he may not even be that. Let's see your offense perform, dude.
There's hyphy. There's hyphy. There's hyphy crack calling it.
Thank you, Chris, man. I'll see you around.
All right, you take care, man.
Your background, man. You got a whole nice wardrobe right there. I like what I'm seeing.
Oh yeah, I got some stuff, man. My wife was vacuuming, so I had to come in here and get some quiet time just in case I got on. And I'm like, I got on. Okay, I'll let you get back to the others, man. I'll talk to you later, man.
Next time. Later.
All right.
This guy's name is Fellow Bruin. I feel like we both went to UCLA, man. What's up?
We did. Hey, Grant.
You called in before, right?
Yeah, just once.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, so I wanted to kind of change the topic a little bit.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, we're not getting rid of anybody on this call. Okay.
No.
Okay. So, out of curiosity, do you pay any attention to the QB show with JT O'Sullivan. I know he's kind of wishy-washy, but
I haven't yet.
So last
Is
week
it
I
worth
thought
it?
he made some.
Is it worth it?
I do it every now and then, but
Okay.
I felt like last week it was kind of interesting because,
Okay.
you know, we definitely bashed on Kyle Shanahan's game plan, and especially if you're watching if you're actually watching the game, it looked terrible. It was like, is he trying to get Lance injured? You know, but then when I was watching, just out of curiosity, when I was watching JT O'Sullivan's take on it, and I don't agree with everything he says, but it was kind of obvious that Lance missed a lot of unders, you know, and these are basically throws that Jimmy Garoppolo would make. And as a result of that, he was getting pressured and sacked, you know. Then he also nitpicked on Lance's mechanics, but, you know, I'm not going to nitpick on that.
That's fair.
Yeah. I mean,
you got to
he's
remember, though, like JT O'Sullivan and Trey Lance are on the opposite ends of the quarterback spectrum. So sometimes I feel like a JT O'Sullivan type of quarterback looks at an athlete like that and is like, yeah, but you're not really playing the position the right way. Like, who cares? Doesn't matter. I'll take Trey Lance over JT O'Sullivan any freaking day, man. I don't know if you remember JT O'Sullivan.
I do. Dude, he's been on a million teams.
Yeah. No, he was on the Niners. He started 8 games for the Niners.
I remember that. I'm not that young, so.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Anyway, so what I wanted to say is, if JT O'Sullivan is gonna, you know, tear Lance apart in this way, I mean, he did appreciate some aspects of his game, particularly his athleticism, but you know, it makes me think that if Kyle Shanahan is going to go back and look at the tape, he's going to kind of do the same thing. I agree. So when we're basically calling for his head or saying like it's a poor game plan, I have a feling that Kyle Shanahan's going to be like, well, they don't see what I see, you know? And
but there's the way I look at it, though. Like, what I don't like about JT O'Sullivan's type of analysis is you assume that everything the coach has called is the best thing he could have called. Like, okay, there's a guy open, he needs to hit it. Well, let's step back. How about the fact that you have Trey Lance throwing from the shotgun all day? Like,
yeah, I'm with you.
He didn't do that in college. And while it should be easier, you know, quick, get the ball and throw, you got to be really decisive. You got to make quick decisions. I mean, he can get confused. He can miss things. It seems to me that he's on the team to be under center, and you're not even he's thrown 11 passes this year under center. What? And he's averaging 14 yards per attempt. I wonder. I don't feel like Kyle's really played him to his strengths yet. I'm sure Kyle has a reason. I'm sure I bet he has a reason. I don't agree with it. Kyle.
Right. So I'm with you. All I wanted to say, the only point I wanted to make is perhaps JT O'Sullivan is bringing Kyle's perspective to the fans. You know,
you're right. I'm with
it's
you.
It's just something to put out there, right? Now, I don't say I agree with it, but
no, I guess what I'm saying is like what JT O'Sullivan is pointing out is that Trey can't really execute what Kyle's asking him to execute. That's correct. And what I would say is, okay, Kyle, then find something he can execute. Right? That's your player, and you wanted to draft him, and you know that he wasn't in the shotgun much in college, so put him under center. Like, do something else.
Exactly.
Let him hand off, things like that. But I'm with you. When JT O'Sullivan watches the tape, he's like, look, he's not executing this. He's right. I would not dispute that. But I would be more constructive in my concern.
Right. So that's really all I wanted to bring to the show. The other thing is, when did Ayuk become the new Dante Pettis? What are we doing?
I don't know, man. It really does seem personal. With Pettis, I got it. It's like, well, everyone's better than Dante Pettis. Richie James is better than Kendrick Bourne. He's the worst wide receiver on the team, and it's demonstrable. But Ayuk, he's still better than. He's not as good as he was last year, in my opinion. I thought he was better last year. I don't know what. Maybe he got over muscular, or his body's not. I don't know what it is, but he doesn't seem as fast. I don't know what. He's still better than Mohamed Sanu. He's better than Travis Benjamin.
Everybody's better than Benjamin.
So by punishing him, they're just punishing themselves. And a 2-3 team really can't afford to do stuff like that.
Well, that's all I got. Thanks, Grant.
Great to talk to you, man. Have a good one.
You too. Take it easy.
See ya. Tobin says, yep, slow motion car wreck. That's always the best kind, right? The Jedi says, I mean, in football terms, if Niners lose next week with Jimmy, Do they finally go with Trey, or will they need 2 bad losses in a row to go with the kid? If Jimmy loses to Indy, they better freaking start Trey. They better not. I mean, come on, dude. 2-4, 4-game losing streak. Jimmy loses to Indy, and they don't make the move. I mean, they should make the move right now. But yeah, I think so. All right. The Mech. What's
hey,
up?
Grant.
Hey, good to see you, man.
Oh man, I have so much stuff I want to talk about.
Let's talk.
Okay, so first, I was thinking this setup with the red thing is because of what happened to Jesse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe a small. Yeah, I mean, it's understandable. Maybe a small thing you could do is add the name tag, because the name tag used to be there.
I know, it's just a straight up overlay. So maybe I can get Jesse to like cut out the bottom right corner so we can get the name. Or I don't know. I'll figure something out. Yeah.
I wanted to first. I've heard you compare Kittle to a soccer player who doesn't score, and I have to add a little like twist to what you're saying, because in soccer, not all players have to score.
True.
That you can have a player who's really good at passing and running, he can be a top player without even scoring.
That's true.
But yeah, a striker or a center forward who doesn't score, that's more like.
What position are you saying can be like an elite player without scoring much?
Midfielder, like
center mid, no problem,
yeah,
as long as you control the possession.
Yeah, and give good.
Did Zinedine Zidane not score much?
Mm.
He was good. I remember him.
Okay,
he lost
so
his cool though in 2006. He shouldn't have headbutted that guy.
Yeah. I remember.
I was
watching that
in
game.
Paris when they beat Brazil. That was cool. I've never seen a bigger, like a city party like that. That was crazy.
I was in Italy the day after when the team arrived.
That nice. See, I was in Spain when they won, and we were in Italy like a week after we were doing our little we just graduated high school trip thing.
Yeah,
missed it, but I was in Paris when they beat Brazil.
No,
anyway, what's up, man?
What
we talking about? We talking about
5,000 people party down the road.
I bet that was fun.
I found it interesting what you said about Jed and how maybe he knows he can't fire someone else. That would mean Jed is on the hot seat.
Think about that, right? He's so buddy with Jed and John. Why?
We keep talking about Kyle being on the hot seat. It's Jed.
Oh. See what you're saying. And maybe that emboldened, maybe Kyle knows it. Maybe he's like, hey, man, you're not going to fire yourself. You're not going to fire yourself.
I want to talk about
maybe Denise blows the whole thing up. Maybe Denise is a big fan of the show and she agrees with us. And she's like, you know what? Jed, John, Kyle, you guys go have dinner parties by yourself. I'm taking over the team. The return of Denise.
Maybe.
The return of Denise. How about that? That'd be cool.
I watched the game with Lance, and every time I see Lance play, there's one thing I've noticed more than anything, more than his throws and his misses. He always seems to get better.
Yes.
And I followed it through the game, and the first drive was a interception. The second drive, they moved forward.
Yeah.
Then they almost scored, and then they scored. It seemed like every time he goes out there, he gets better.
One thing I'd like to see Kyle do with him is sort of have a little awareness of Trey's jitters. I don't know what you want to call them, but on that first drive, I was thinking he's going to throw a pick. He's going to throw a pick. He does that early in games is when he'll have that first overthrow.
That's why
he settles down and competes. And I'd like to see, if you know that about your 21-year-old quarterback, dude, don't let him do it. Like, don't let him freaking do it.
I don't know if it was Jack Hammer or who said it, but I like the opposite idea. In the preseason, the first play he did was this huge bomb down the side.
Yeah.
That works. If you overthrow it doesn't matter.
No, hey, take shots deep, go down the sideline, but you need to get him in the flow of the game before you let him throw over the middle. Good God.
Yeah.
Good
I agree.
God.
I agree.
Just saying. That's dangerous. That's dangerous.
It was clear he needs more experience. There were lots of plays where it was like, okay, if he got to the bottom of his drop and threw the ball, it would have been a complete pass, but instead he started moving around and playing and being athletic, which is fine. He does good plays, but like what I see is hope. I see a player who's already doing good things in the situations he's in, and
but he
who
couldn't
has the
be less
potential to
polished.
become.
He couldn't be less polished, and to me,
Yeah.
that is a failure. Not a failure, but it's an indictment of the plan for him. I mean, imagine what he would look like right now if Jimmy Garoppolo had been traded after the draft, which would have been fair to both guys. And
honestly, I don't know if it would be that different. I think he would be a bit better, but I feel like it's not going to be a process that's going to take a few months. I think it might
I'm just
take.
saying, like, imagine if he had all the reps with the first team in camp, in mini. Imagine if there freaking been a mini camp. Like, there's so many missed opportunities here, and I feel like it's not a stretch to say that the development process is starting now.
Yes.
Now.
I agree with that.
Now.
The development process seems to be starting now. But I feel like this is a thing that's going to take time. It's not going to be a few weeks or maybe even a few months.
It took Alex Smith like 7 years. So yeah.
So that's why I see hope. Yeah, maybe we started late and that's bad, and maybe this season is going to suffer for it. But I still see, even if Kyle Shanahan leaves, goes to another team, and we get a new guy, Lance does look like someone who's getting better. We see that he can do it because at the end of the games, he's playing better. He's seeing more of his reads. If we can improve that aspect, I think it's a talent that could really make a difference.
I completely agree. I think I really enjoy watching him play. And the only thing that bothers me about him is that I wish the Niners had done better by him. He was 21. He could have used the reps. And the Niners didn't give it to him because they incorrectly overestimated how good they were with Jimmy, period. They didn't overestimate Jimmy. They overestimated themselves and used that as justification to not start the Trey Lance development. And I mean, in the big picture, I guess it cost them 6 months, and maybe it's not a big deal, but you could also say it cost them this season.
I think it's still a big deal, but
I think it's a big deal.
Looking forward, we can
looking forward, the most important thing is that it's positive that they have him. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
And the last thing I wanted to say is that I feel like Kyle is not a head coach. He's not a coach. What I mean by this is
he's not a coach, right?
A coach is someone like I think of it like in most hierarchies, the coach is normally above the players in the way that he's like their leader and also like the person who's in front of everyone else for the team. For example, if you have a boss and your boss and you mess up, for other people, the boss takes the responsibility,
right?
And then he can say, "Hey, you did a bad job," but he says, "I did it wrong."
Yeah, as far as the upper ups know, it's on me, but between us, I'll handle it the way I need to handle it. But I took the heat. Yeah,
that's what a leader does, and that's what you're supposed to do when you're in a position like this.
Right. But Kyle, after games, what do you think? Oh, some good, some bad.
It seems like Kyle puts himself on the same level as the players and tries to find who's to blame.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That's what it seems to me, because he's like, okay, so this person didn't do that. There were players open.
Yeah, he has the mentality of a player because he was one, but essentially he is a play designer.
Yeah.
And he was great at that in 2019. I don't think he's been particularly good at that the last 2 years. Maybe it's because he got a 6-year extension and deadline spur creativity. I don't know. But
I think it has also to do with him being the coach and having other responsibilities which take him away. And he's really good designing plays, but he always thinks like that. When he's thinking about how a play went, he thinks of the design of the play and how the players went through that design, and not so much what the specific players were in and how the situation evolved.
That's right. Yeah. Well, Kyle, now would be a good time for you to prove everyone wrong, because you're losing a lot of confidence amongst your fan base. And that's the hot seat. It's not like, when the organization loses confidence, once the fan base loses confidence in you, it kind of forces the organization's hand. So it's week 6. You got a lot of time to turn this around. Now would be a good time. The Mech, it's great to see you, man.
It's good to see you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
MILF Hunter says since 2017, the Niners have had the worst turnover margin in the NFL at -40. Is that real? My God. Start the rookie already. We're not contenders this year. If Kyle starts Jimmy after the bye, I'm gonna run to my car like DJ Pooh and Friday. He's like holding his arms, waving his arms. Hella true, man. Yeah. I don't know, man. Jimmy might just do the Niners a favor and sit himself. Guys, it's 6 o'clock. It's dinner time. I gotta go. I'm glad we got to do this. Happy to see Bourne doing good, and any could use him. I'll be back. I'm glad. I know that the Cohn phone can work. This works. I'll be doing this weekly. Sorry I couldn't get everyone. Next time I'll do a longer one. I'll see you guys around. Have a good night.